Welcome to all the students for the session 4. So last class we talks about what do you mean by data center environments. In that data center environments I talked about what are the components of data center environments. I told that the first components of the data center environments is applications, and the second one is DBMS, third one is host, and fourth one is connectivity, and fifth one is storages. Okay, in the last class we understand what do you mean by applications, okay, where in turns in the database in the data center environments the applications are business applications. That means whenever we are generating any informations in the organizations that is stored in the data centers, so the generation of the business data will be accessed and stored in the business applications. So that is one of the applications we have discussed in the previous class, and the second applications are infrastructure management applications. That means whatever the data which we are generated by the business applications are stored in the data centers, so we need to use different infrastructures for storing the data which is generated by the organizations. So the data generated by the organization is stored in the form of structured fashion by using a database management system, or else it will be in the form of unstructured fashions that is analyzed by the data science or big data analytics, and it has to be converted into a meaningful fashion, and it has to store it in the disks in the data centers. To store it in the disk in the data centers from the business organizations, we need to use a different infrastructures, okay, something like host machines and connectivity devices and storage element and DBMS, like that. So those information is called as infrastructure management applications. So we need to have some software for managing the infrastructures, that also comes under the applications. The third one we have discussed something called protection applications, data protection applications. Whenever we are interacting with one host machines to the data centers, disks, hard disk with the different infrastructures, we need to secure our data. So for that, every data transmissions we need to have some applications, that is secured applications, which is called as data protection applications. And for every data which we are transferring from one infrastructure to the another infrastructures, we need to maintain some security codes. For that security codes and all, we need to have some security applications. Like that, our software applications which we are using in the data centers can be classified as a business applications, infrastructure management applications, data protection applications, as well as security applications. These I have discussed in the previous session, and all these things is done for IO operations, that means input and output operations between the host machine as well as the disk storages which is stored in it. Okay, and then I told the second parameter, the second components in the data centers are DBMS, that means database management systems. So you know that the DBMS is the software which uses to manage our data efficiently in the form of storing our data as well as retrieving our data whenever the user is requesting the informations. So these it's not only that, so before storing the information, we need to create the sectors, that means the place where we need to store the informations. Okay, so that is done by using the application by the name called DBMS, okay, database management systems. That means these DBMS is used for creating a place where the data is stored, and to maintain the databases. Maintain the database means like whenever the user is requesting the informations, he used to, the DBMS responsibility is used to provide the informations where it is stored by storing the information, that maintaining the data where it is stored and all, and using the databases. That means whenever we are accessing any informations in the disks, we need to use that sectors, and then we have to extract the informations or search the informations in that sectors. So all these operations will be managed by the DBMS. That is the second part we have discussed in the previous class. And the third class is host machine. Okay, that means the data centers will have an application, data centers will be having a DBMS, and data centers will be having a host machines. Okay, host machine is the normal computers which we are using, like how we are using it. Those normal computers can be connected to the data centers by connecting through the infrastructures to it. Infrastructures means like it may be a software, or it may be a DBMS, or it may be a coaxial cable connectivity devices, or it may be a storage devices which are connected to it, like that. So the connection infrastructure will be used. So we can give an example of a host machine is desktop computers, or we also call it as an example is laptop, smart phones, and sometimes those machine is called as a client machines, or else we are also called that machine as a server machines. So the word server machine is called when the that computer is providing the informations to the another computers. That means the data which we are extracting from the data centers is stored in one computers. In that computer the data is shared to the another computers. That means the data provider is called as a server. So that means our computer, our desktop computer, our laptop, or a smartphone, smart devices which we are using to connect our data in the data centers may also be called as a client machine or as a server machines, and those machines is called as a host machines in the data centers environment. That is the third thing. And I discussed each data host machines contains a CPU, memory, IO devices, and different softwares like device drivers and logic volume managers, file system center environment. So I have told that we have our applications, we have DBMS host. In that host, in the previous class we discussed about what do you mean by CPU. CPU is the central processing unit where we are using to perform some all the operations in the computers. Okay, like all the operations means retrieving the data from the user, as well as the retrieved data is stored in the DBMS, and some computing operations, okay, that whether the data is stored in the proper way or not is managed by the CPU. Okay, the host machines contain a CPU, as well as all the operations in the computer should have some small memory in it for storing to a large memory. Initially it has to store it in the memory. Okay, those memory will be managed in the different aspects. Last time we have talked about something called physical storages as well as disk storages, like that. That means all the informations which we are storing in the computers will be in the form of physical machine devices. Physical machines we are storing it. So these physical machines has to store it in the disks which is present in the data centers. Okay, so for that we need to perform different types of operations. Last time we talked about something called paging. Okay, the paging is the arranging of our data in the physical devices which is present in the host machine with the different sectors. That means different arrangements. Okay, arrangements, and each informations, okay, piece of informations which is stored in the physical disks will be called as paging. Okay, and paging will be stored in the operating systems for managing different types of operations, something like retrieving the informations from the disks, okay, easily, and searching operations, like that. All the data which we are storing in the operating systems will be arranged in the form of pages. Okay, that is one thing we have discussed. Okay, and we know that we are using different types of softwares and IO applications. like input and output applications and all, like different types of buses we are using it, and different softwares we are using, like device drivers, okay, for communication between computer as well as the operating systems. So and whenever a new devices is inserted to the computers, okay, it will be understand by the device drivers itself, and all the operations in the host machines is managed by the memory, okay, and each memory will be generate, each data which is generated is stored in the memory, and that generated data which is stored in the memory is in the form of paging, okay. And if you are paging means it's a group of storing the informations, okay, data, okay. For example, the data which is generated may stored in a particular size, like 1K of data. So another data is generated may store in a different sectors, okay. Then this is called as page 1 and this is called as page 2. Like that, some data which is generated is stored not in the continuous fashion in a different sectors, okay. So whenever it is storing such type of data in a different location, each data has to be stored in has to be managed by using something called logical volume managers, okay. Some software has to manage the different data which is stored in the memory in a different locations by using something called logical volume managers, okay. So the data which is stored in the each location is called as a physical volume. That means the data which here the data is not stored, the data which is stored in this particular location is the actual data which is called as a physical volume. This physical volume information is having the indexing of informations in the logical volume managers, okay. Along with that, so how many number of volumes are present in the memory is also stored in the logical volume managers, okay. So is stored in the logical volume managers. Logically, the how many number of sectors pages are present in the memory will be having in the logical volume managers, okay. It's a storage device, it's a software which take cares about how the data is being managed in the memory, okay. So and we talked about something called partitioning of the data. Assume that the data want to shared by the single person, okay. This data has to be stored in the single person, at the similar time the other data has to be shared by this another person, okay. Same data has to be shared by the different sector, single person has to share different data. At that cases we perform something called concatenation of the data and then we are sharing it. That is one concept we have learned in the logic volume manager. Another is some data is used by a particular person and some data is used by the another particular person, and we need to divide these data into a different sectors and we need to share for the different operations, okay. Such type of is called as a partition data. These are the concepts we have gone through in the previous section. Today I need to discuss what do you mean by file systems, okay. So you know that whenever we perform any operations in the computers, so all the operations in the computers is stored in the form of file itself. For example, a single program, any C program or Java program, C++ programs, or any input which we are giving to the computers are stored in the form of files, okay. So files will be called as a records, okay. It's a collection of records and each files will be having a unique name to it. So either by a user can know that what is the file name it is and what is the type of the file it is, or else the computer also knowing what type of file it is, whether it is a inode files or it will be identified by the inode numbers, okay. So our hardware machines will be knowing the name of a file in the form of inodes that you people have come across, and each files which we are using in the operating systems are arranged in the form, are stored in the operating system in a structured way. So structured way, and it is organized data. Okay, the data is in organized. Okay, for those data is stored in the disk drive. The files is stored in the disk drive. Okay, and it is partition disks and in the logic volume. That means assume that the file is stored in the memory, has to be there in the physical disk and logical disk, and physical volume and logical volume information is stored in the logical volume managers. That means whenever we are accessing any files in the operating systems or any files in the data centers, we need to search the logical volume manager and then we are accessing the files. That means file system is nothing but the collection of related records stored in the stored with the unique name. Okay, and those files are stored in the logical way, structured way, and it is organized. So those data is stored in the disk drives as well as disk partitions, and all the informations we will get it in the logical volumes. Okay, and these file systems needs to host from the host machines to the data centers by using a application, something called application program interfaces, something called APIs. Okay, we use the APIs, and all the data which is stored in the operating systems will be stored by using something called directories. That means directory is also called as a files. Okay, where it contains the list of files present in the place, and which place it is present. For example, each files in the operating system is classified into different types. For example, some of the data some of the files may be call it as a flat file. So flat file means file allocation tables. That means all the files which is present in the form of list of informations. Okay, list of informations. So or else we have network file systems. Okay, so network file system, the files will be arranged in the form of network file systems. Okay, network file systems. So NTRS, that means it can be used by the other computers to access it. That means we can give a permission for the other computer to connect these file systems like that. The another type is Unix file systems. Okay, Unix file systems. Unix file system is a special file systems where each parameters in the applications in the computers will be recognized by its own ID. That means, for example, any file which is connected treating as a Unix file systems will be having an inode numbers and the unique ID and the type of ID and the particular attributes like that, compared to the flat file. Okay, compared to the fat file, that means file allocation table types of file which is used by the Microsoft, and Windows NT file which is used by the networked file systems, which is used by the Windows systems, and Unix file is the Linux operating system file which will be performed. So the another type of file is extended file systems. Okay, extended file systems, okay, which is used by the Linux operating systems. It is also called as exe2 or 3, depends upon the version of the Linux operating systems we are using it. That means whenever we are creating a file in the host machines which will be in the form of files. Okay, those files is stored in the file systems like this. Okay, file systems, okay, which may be in the form of fat file systems, NT file systems, Unix file systems, or extended file systems like that. Each file systems are arranged in the form of file blocks. Okay, each file systems are arranged in the form of file blocks. Okay, and these file blocks, file system file blocks in turns will give the information about how the file is been arranged in the operating systems. Okay, we have a different types of files. Each files will be arranged in the different file blocks. These file blocks in turns will store to the logical volume manager. Like how I have explained, logical volume managers will be having the informations of physical volume as well as the logical volumes. Okay, either we can access the data in the memory directly by the physical volume or through the logical volume, but we need to use a logical volume managers for accessing the data in the computers. Okay, that is one thing. So after storing the informations in the logical volumes, so it will be stored to the disks. Okay, actual physical disk which is used in the computers. Okay, so physical disk which is placed in the host machine, we have to store it. This is how actually the storing of informations in the host presents. Okay, so these physical disk which is stored in the host machines will be in turn communicated to the disk sectors. Okay, disk sectors so is nothing but a group of disks, okay, which is placed in the data centers. Group of disk which is placed in the data centers, so in there which is storing. That means our computers will store our information in the form of file or in a group of files. So these group of files and directories may be of different types, maybe in the flat type or network files, or it may be a Unix file or extended files. These files are stored in the file system blocks. Okay, file system blocks. These file system blocks informations is stored in the logical volume manager. These logical volume managers are stored in the physical disk, so which is placed in the host machines. These host machines through the network, okay, through the network connected to the disk sectors. These disk sectors is nothing but a group of disk which is placed in the data centers. To perform such type of operations, we can tell that how our data is transferred from host machines to the destination machine. Our destination is our data centers, how the data centers is being stored. Okay, so this is one part. Whenever we performing such type of operations, we use the concept called compute virtualization. We use the concept called compute virtualization. Okay, compute virtualization. So what do you mean by that? That means the data which is stored in the file and the group of data is called as directories. All the data which is stored in the computers can be performs a logical volume manager. That means some indexing of the logical volume managers can be used. Okay, so that means we are performing something called virtualization operations. Virtual, that means performing the operation of storing the physical hardware devices which is stored in the operating systems in the form of abstract fashion. Abstract or a masking. That means if you perform a masking operations, that means hiding the storage informations by the operating system by using a logical volume manager. That means just only the indexing of the physical storages is stored in the computers, so it's called as a virtualization. That means instead of directly accessing to the normal actual data which is present in the physical disks, we store and we access the information by using a logical volume manager. Such information is called as masking. Okay, masking or abstracting the data. So why do we want to perform such type of things? So we want to extend our physical devices to the many users. That means many users who is using the host machine has to use the host machine with the virtual fashion. That means they are not using the actual data, so they are using the virtual data. So and this physical data which is used by the people may be shared by the different users, okay, different users. So whenever we performing such type of operations like masking our physical data, and that physical data can be masking the physical data can be called as a virtual machines. So these virtual machines will be shared by the different peoples. These operations is done by the hypervisioners. Okay, that means like before performing some operations like our applications used in the computers along with the operating system. So with the different computers, assume that this is computer 1, computer 2 and computer 3 with the 3 computers. These 3 computer has to communicate along with our CPU. Okay, this is the actual physical devices which we are using it, and we are using network interface card. Okay, and we are using the different memory in the computers. Okay, different memory in the computer. These are the physical machines. Okay, physical machines which we are using in the computers. So if you want to virtualize this physical machine, we need to develop a software, okay, by the name called hypervisioner, okay, where it will be having a logical volume manager. So these logical volume managers contains the physical volume as well as the logical volume inside it informations. That means it contains in the form of index. All the data which is present in the memory are stored in the form of index. Okay, those things are hypervisions. These hypervisions data will be performing these operations. So giving the informations of all the data all the physical data which we are using it. Okay, these data which operating system, this host machine is called as a virtual machine. Okay, so this virtual machine is the use of virtual machines through the applications by the operating system by using the hypervisioner data. So these hypervisioner data will contains the physical information indexing by using a software. This through this software the data is shared to the many users. Such type of operations is called as compute virtualization. That means we are virtualizing the computing operations, or we can not only computing the operations which we are using in the computer can be virtualized, we can also use the hardware components which we are using in the computer can be virtualized. That means infrastructure virtualization also can be done. So not only infrastructure virtualization, if these devices is connected to the network interface card, that means we are connecting to the computer networks. That means one computer to the another computers. At that cases also we can perform the virtualization operations. So these virtualization concepts is not only used for the virtualization of the memory, it's not only used for the virtualization of the computing operations, it's also used for virtualizing of a connections between one computer to the another computer. This is one of the concepts we need to understand whenever we are dealing with the infrastructure used in the data centers. The next is connecting devices. What are the connecting devices which we are used in the data centers for performing the data center environments? Okay, so we know that whenever we connecting any computers, we need to connect the computer through the coaxial cables, right? Coaxial cables, that is one of the parameters, and we know that normal copper wire we are using for connecting one computer to the another computers for connecting. So it's not only we are using connecting wires for connecting the data centers. So we are using different types of connecting devices, something like optical fibers. For optical fibers we are using it for enhancing the connectivity for many users can use the connection devices. Initially we use a copper wire for connecting one computer to the another computer, and we use advanced connecting devices like optical wires, okay, optical fiber wires we are connecting it. So that means connections can be done through the cables, okay. Connections can be done through the cables like copper wires as well as optical fibers. This is one thing. The second connection is through the port. That means whenever we want to connect one computer to the another computers, we have to connect through some port. That means I have told something called network interface card, okay. That means many devices which we want to connect between one computer to the another computer, he is connected through the network interface card, okay. So it's not only that, so we are using network interface card, it is for connecting to the internet. We should also use something called host based machines, okay. That means host bus adapters, okay, host bus adapters, okay. That means we are connecting our one computer to the another computer through the bus. That means many devices can be connected through the machine called host bus machines, okay, host bus adapters, okay. This is one of the interface devices which we are using for connecting the computers in the data centers, okay. These are all a physical physical devices which we are using it, but actually we are connecting our information, okay. That means one computer to the another informations. Along with this, that means cable as well as the port, we are using a interface protocols. That means we are using the interface protocols. So we are using a set of protocols for connecting between one computer to the another computers for the communication between the one computer to the another computers, okay. What are the set of protocols which we are using? We are using a protocol by the name called IDA. So IDA is nothing but a integrated device electronics. IDA, integrated device electronics. That means whatever the devices which we are connected either through the network interface card or host bus adapters, these host bus adapters and network interface card should be worked with the rules of integrated device electronics. Nowadays we are using something called advanced technology attachment, that is called as ATA. So either we are using the integrated device electronics or advanced technology attachment protocols for connecting between the host based adapters or network interface card. So that is one thing. The second thing is this is the basic parameters which we are using in the every computers for connecting between one computer to the another computer by using the physical machine along with the software part. So now we have something called software small computer system interface, okay, small computer system interface. This is one of the protocol where we are using for the large scale connections between the host machines in the client side. Okay, this client side is, I am talking about the host machines, how host machines are connected along with the physical devices. Okay, earlier for connecting a single devices we are using IDA. For connecting the many devices we are using a small computer system interface. That means whole systems are connected with the small computer by using the software called small computer system interface. Okay, small computer system interface, this is one of the things. So this is the regular parameters which we are using as a protocols. Along with that, now we are using something called fiber channels. Okay, we are not using just protocols, so we are using the fiber channels. Since we are using the fiber optical fibers for connections between the different computers in the host data centers, we use a software called fiber channels. Okay, fiber channel is one of the protocol or interface protocol which we are using in the connecting devices nowadays. Okay, this is the advanced one. So this is the earlier devices where it is used for connecting in the organizations. If one organization wants to connect to the another organizations, we need to connect through the fiber channels. This is one part. Okay, along with that, the second part we have something called internet protocols. Okay, so nowadays everyone are using internet, and we know that every computers will be having a unique ID. Okay, whenever we are connecting to the computer, we are connecting to the computer to the unique ID. Okay, so we call it as a internet protocols. Okay, this internet protocol is adapted in the connecting devices also for enhancing the connectivity operations in the connecting devices. So while we are going to this, we need to understand what are the advantages and what are the benefits of each protocol which we are using it. Earlier days I told we are using simple small computer system interface, we are using it. This small computer system interface is used for enhancing the connectivity of single computers connections. Usually we use single computer connections by using advanced technology adapters or integrated device electronics. Okay, integrated device electronics, IDE. So this IDE is connected to the system by using the simple computer interfaces. Compared to this, we can transmit our informations parallelly. Okay, if you are connecting our informations by using simple computer system interfaces, the connections can be done. Okay, the transmissions of the data can be done parallelly. Along with that, we can improve the performance of transmission of data from one devices to the another devices. The performance can be increased, and the scalability, that means if you want to add a new devices to the systems, easily we can add to the new devices just by using these protocols, because it's a system interfaces. So and it is compactable, that means many different types of devices can be added to it, and different devices can be connected to it. It's not that similar protocol computers which can be used, but if you are using a small computer system interfaces, for each devices we need to use some particular cable, and the cost will be high, and commonly this type of system cannot be affordable for a large type of connectivity in the computers. At that cases, to reduce the cost of connecting, we go for the optical channels, where it can transmit our data, multiple data parallelly at the high speed, okay, at the high speed the communication compared to the small component system interface, fiber channel communications is fast compared to due to the optical technology which you people know it. So along with that we can transfer a gigabytes of data transmissions, and it can perform say multiple protocols, and it can uses different types of topologies, and it's while we are using a fiber channel things, it's not that compulsory we need to use this fiber optical fiber itself. We can use the combination of copper wires, how we are using in IDE as well as small computers, along with the fiber channel. That means it's an extension of copper wires. Okay, initially for the small connections we need to use a copper wires. That copper wire in turns will be connected to the fiber optical fiber wires. That means the combination of copper wire as well as the optical fibers connections, and then we can use these fiber channels. So that means both technology we can use in the fiber channels. Now we know that due to the technology improvement, so all the devices will be having an unique ID. The communication between the each devices will be through the unique ID. That means the data transmissions is done along with the physical devices like fiber channels and all, but at the end side, at the user side, the data which is extracting informations or sending the informations is through the packet. That means a group of data is arranged in the form of packets. That means it contains the destination address and the source address and the routing data like that. Okay, so those data transmissions by using this protocol, by using the IP, is called as internet protocol. This IP protocol using is also called also be used as a wireless connections. It contains both wired connection as well as the wireless connections. Okay, at the end of the host machines, so it will be connected in terms of wireless also. So for that purpose the IP is the advanced. It reduces the cost of wires in some cases, not in all the cases. For the normal things like we are connecting the cables in the server machine, we call it as a routers. From the router we can communicate through the host machines either through the cable wire or optical fibers or through the IP address by using a wireless technology. That means it reduces little bit less cost, and it uses the most advanced technology for communications between the one computer to the another computer through the protocol. This is one type of technology which we are using it. So the next one is we need to understand what do you mean by storage. Okay, this is the third part, which connection is the fourth part which we are using in the data centers. So we need to understand what do you mean by storage. Okay, this is the fourth part, storage in data centers. Okay, storages in the data centers. Storages in the data centers. So we know that whenever we are storing any information in the data center, we store the data in the data center. The data is stored in the form of disk. That is the advanced one. Earlier days, whenever we are storing the data, we are storing in the tapes. Okay, we are storing in the tapes. Usually these tape nowadays also they are using it for backup purpose. That means if they want these data for after 10 years, okay, so that tape drives are used. Okay, that means why do we want to tape drive now also? Because it's a low cost. Okay, and the tape have some advantages. That is one is the low cost, and the second one is it's have a disadvantages also. The data which we are storing in the tapes are in the linear fashion. Whenever we want to search the data, we need to search the data from the beginning itself, not in the middle, like how we are using in the compact disc and all. So nowadays we are using compact disc and DVDs like that, so where it stores in the form of disk fashions, which can be stored in the form of sectors, like that. So storing the information in the disk is through the optical disk. Okay, that means either the storages, initially the storages of the informations will be done through the tapes. Even today we are using the tapes for the backup purpose. Okay, backup purpose, and storing the data can be done by the optical disks. Okay, which is also called as disk drive, CD. Okay, compact disc. Okay, and now we are using a flash disk, right? So flash disk, this is the optical disk will be having a minimizing. So if you are arranging these optical disk with many disks, we call it as a disk drives. Okay, so that means if the optical disks, okay, is many number of disks are stored and it is given as one name, okay, is called as disk drives. That means a group of disks can be arranged and it can be used it. Okay, the example of optical disk is CD disk and DVD and blue array disk. This is one of the technology which is used for storing the data, large number of storing the data. Okay, so the third type of storing is disk drives, and the fourth type is your flash drives. Okay, flash drives. So this flash drive is nothing but your pen drive. Okay, so which can be stored our data, a small number of data, like 16 GB data, 64 GB data, small number of data, and these storing data is be compactable. That means we can travel from one place to the another places, and it's having the low power consumptions compared to other things. That means if you are storing the informations in the disk drive, each disk drive has to be connected to the computers and it has to be perform the operations. Like that, we have understood 5 environments in the disk data centers, starting from the application, and starting from the DBMS and the host, connectivity and storages. These are the 5 parameters we are using in the data centers. Along with that, we using the AC. That means AC should be there, alternate air conditioning system should be there for in the data centers for cooling our informations, because all the applications are done with the electric powers. Okay, that means backup power should be there. There should be a 24/7. Our data center should work with 24/7 without any electric power losses, so that backup should be there. Along with the air cooling center should be there, along with these 5 parameters like applications, database, host, connectivity and storages. These are the 5 parameters we need to understand in the second part of the first module. Okay, that means data center environment. The next part we are going to discuss in the next class, so which is nothing but the data protections. Okay, which is data how the disks is arranged in the data centers, and how the disks are shared among the different users, like that will be coming in the next section, that is 5th sessions. Thank you.